One of my earliest memories was of inheriting my dad's childhood Lego collection and asking how to build a car, and the earliest Lego creations I remember building were buses and airplanes made of bricks on wheels and two plates. It was frustrating at first not knowing how to make anything, but before long I was discovering all that was possible with the plastic bricks. For Christmas of 2006, my parents bought me my first new Lego set 8681 Tuner Garage, which contained extra wheels, body parts, engines, and more, so each of the 5 cars included could be customized. It taught me how to build cars by giving me a starting point, and the mechanical launchers included in the set sparked an interest in machines. The set captured my imagination and inspired me to build a lot more. The customizability of the cars was the best part, the freedom of Lego making me wonder what it would be like to modify and customize real cars. In high school, I got to find out exactly that when I enrolled in auto repair classes to see how cars work, how metal is shaped and painted for auto body work, and ultimately how to modify them. Real cars are much different than Lego, of course, but my curiosity started with those plastic bricks. When artists see an interesting color, they're thinking about hue, saturation, and how they could mix paints to get that color because they know color theory. My version of this is what Lego color most closely resembles that color, and how can I build that using parts available in that color. Lego's color palette has evolved significantly over the years, and there's an art to working with it. There are entire hierarchies of common colors, less common colors, rare colors, you're crazy for trying to use that colors, expensive colors, and colors that are so limited in availability that Lego itself has internal rules on how and where they can use it. There are about 76 different colors of Lego brick in production, and if you expand that to include Lego colors that are no longer in production, that number gets closer to 200. Often the color I choose to build something with will be determined by a few key pieces I imagine I'll need so I can make sure they exist in that color. But when my subject matter is a specific color, I have to find creative ways to work within a limited selection of parts. My most ambitious color-dictated project was recreating characters from My Little Pony based on a design created for a single character by a builder named Andrew Harvey. These characters were all pastel colors, with which not every piece is available in LEGO, so I had to find creative ways to build similar shapes using many different pieces and techniques to compensate for what wasn't available. This knowledge and familiarity with LEGO's color palette has also given me new words to describe the colors I see, and often an unusual appreciation for specific colors. For example, there's a legendary story in the LEGO community about teal, a once rare fan-favorite LEGO color that was killed by LEGO set designer Mark Stafford. LEGO introduced teal in the 90s, where it saw occasional use in themes like Rock Raiders and Technic, but when designer Mark Stafford had a choice to save either teal or purple in the 2000s, he sacrificed teal, and it became a fan-favorite color and meme among LEGO fans for its rarity. In 2018, LEGO reintroduced teal, and the LEGO fans rejoiced, seeing it as LEGO throwing the community a bone. Now whenever I see teal, I smile because that history makes it special. LEGO inadvertently taught me how to be much more specific in how I think of colors around me, and I can even describe favorite types of blue or green in LEGO terms. But most of all, I appreciate the positive associations the weird quirks of LEGO colors have given me for pastels and things like teal. It gives me something to smile about when looking at the world around me, which those who haven't grown up with LEGO might not have. LEGO is also what got me interested in engineering. In addition to the car launchers and the tuner garage set, some of my first LEGO was my dad's old Technic collection. When I received it, some parts of the old sets were still assembled, such as model of an engine with moving pistons and little cars with working steering. With everything exposed, I could see it all working, which inspired me to build my own machines. I remember my first mechanisms being simple little cars with 2 gears in them so that when I rolled the car around, the gears would turn. They were extremely basic, but I was proud enough of them at the time to bring them to show and tell. Messing with those little cars taught me that a big gear driving a small gear will make the small gear turn faster but with less torque, and vice versa. Over the years, whenever I saw an interesting mechanism somewhere, I would get curious about it and try to replicate it with LEGO. It took a lot of trial and error, but I could usually get it to work, and I learned how and why machines are designed the way they are. And from there, I designed plenty of my own little machines. It made the world of mechanical engineering accessible to me at a young age, changing the way I looked at machines. As I collected motors, electronics, and fancier Technic pieces, my machines became more elaborate. Receiving a LEGO Mindstorms robotics kit for Christmas then introduced me to computer programming, so I could build interactive machines. I ended up taking engineering classes in high school after developing mechanical intuition from LEGO building, and I am still learning about engineering to this day, both in and outside the bounds of LEGO. There is, however, another side to how LEGO can be used, which I've become equally passionate about, as an art medium. At first it was cars, the occasional spaceship, robots, and whatever else my imaginary adventures called for. But I was always interested in finding ways to make them look better, and I became known among my friends as the one who built the fanciest things. One of my first attempts at an accurate model of something was a 2-foot wide model of the Spirit of St. Louis, the first airplane to be flown nonstop by a single pilot across the Atlantic. While it wasn't super fancy in terms of building techniques, it was the biggest thing I'd ever built, and I was very proud of it. I even entered it in the county fair in 2014 since they had a Lego category where it won an award. The next year, inspired by the LEGO Ideas Birds set that had just been released, I decided to try building my own LEGO birds. It started as replicating birds from the set using colors I had, but once I figured out the types of building techniques that were being used, I branched out into replicating real birds in LEGO. They ended up also winning awards at the fair, which encouraged me to build more. I had the idea to take photographs of them outside in bushes and on tree branches as if I was bird watching, and a few years later I would reuse those photos to create short humorous stories about an increasingly unhinged nature documentary show, which I published on the car forum Opposite Lock, including pictures of cars with bird names to keep it car related. The stories became surprisingly popular, which encouraged me to do more creative writing and storytelling. The comments I received from people hoping to see a Lego bird in a tree in a park someday showed me that Lego can be art and used to imitate nature. I like to think the birds represent an innocent imposter trying to blend in, when in reality they are quite weird and often derail the script. But it's their slight strangeness that makes people smile, and that's why they resonate with me. Nowadays I have less time for Lego than I'd like, and have found other passions. But the lessons and interests I gained from Lego have stayed with me. I'm still pursuing engineering, still messing with cars, still growing as an artist, and still telling stories. Many core aspects of how I see myself today were directly influenced by Lego, and I wouldn't trade that for anything.